Well, that didn't work the way that I thought that it was going to work. Hello and welcome to the November vlog. I've been just pottering around this morning, getting myself all ready to get the door open, made myself some sparkling water, and I have been gifted some of these water drop things. I've seen them around for a while and I've never bought them because I do feel that they're quite expensive and I didn't want to buy something and not like it at that cost. But I was given the opportunity to actually try these through a program I'm on, so I put in an application to be able to try them. They're nice, but I still don't think I'm actually going to buy them. Once I've used these ones up, I do still feel that they're actually quite expensive for what they are. It does say they're sugar-free, but they've actually got sweetener in them, which I don't particularly like. I do feel it's very, very misleading when people say they're sugar-free and then sneak sweeteners into them. I'd much rather have a natural sugar than a man-made sweetener in my foodstuffs, but that's a personal choice. They do taste nice. It does say on the packaging you can put them into still or sparkling water. I put some in still water yesterday, and as you saw, I put it in sparkling today. I do not recommend putting them into sparkling because it I should have known the ingredients listing that's there, similar to bath bomb, sort of citric acid and some carbonate ingredients. It is going to fizz and bubble and cause extra bubbles, so be prepared for extra bubbles there. But anyhow, if it makes me drink a little bit more water today, so be it. We've got lots of things planned for this week. I've got orders here which I need to go and pick and pack. Some of these orders do have tea lights in them, so I have got the tank on so we can make those tea lights up. I am waiting to hear back from one person about their order. They've placed 2 orders. One attracted free shipping, the other one didn't, so I want to see if they want them shipped in the same parcel and then can be refunded their shipping. So we're going to go and pick and pack all of this. The Christmas stock is going really well. All of the Christmas soaps have actually sold out. They sold out within a week, which the last time that happened for me was about 4 years ago, and it actually took 2 weeks, not 1 week. So I was completely unprepared for how fast they went. Even though I had almost 100 Christmas soaps, pretty much they went so quickly, I was not prepared for it. So I'm sorry if you have missed out. Next year I will try and make a few more if that sort of momentum is going to keep going. I do have some more gingers out on the back shelf. There has been a few issues with the supply of gingers because last year they didn't sell very well, so I didn't make as many this year, and they sold out in 2 days. So I'm trying to keep on top of getting some extra ginger stock out there. So we need to get those painted this week. You can see over there I've got soaps which I need to go and tidy up and put on the cure rack. They are all wholesale soaps. I've also got a wholesale soap out the back which needs cutting. I need to make more wholesale soaps. I've got retail soaps which need wrapping, and I've got a ton of things on here to make. But I need to go and get my door open, and we're going to get this day started, and I'll take you through some other things as we go along. So I've got to go and get that door open. I am already 15 minutes late because I was chatting to you guys. So as you can see, we are on to packing orders. I am now doing one for Julie, who has got 8 boxes of our unscented tea lights. I just had to double check that it was unscented. I did actually find, I was going to break up a couple of my 10 boxes, but I did find some spare unscented ones in the drawer. So I've been able to make up all 8 boxes of unscented tea lights for her. The first order you saw me packing before is actually for my mum, and we're meeting up with them next Monday, the 24th. My birthday's in December, but it's just so awkward to celebrate my birthday in December. Something I've found over the years is that you try and book into restaurants and half the time you can't get into them because there's all these Christmas celebrations. And when you actually can get into a restaurant for a birthday celebration, it's so full of Christmas parties. It's loud, it's noisy, we can't hear each other talking and that sort of thing. So I said this year, I don't want to celebrate it in December. So we decided that we'd celebrate it at the end of November so we can actually go somewhere and have a nice quiet lunch. So I'll take her order to her on the Monday. We're going to get this order packed up for Julie. She's a first time order, so we're going to pop the extra little cards. Plus we've got brand new magnets for this month. This one has got my ducks, may not be in a row, but at least they're having fun. If you've never seen my little magnets before, I do a different one every couple of months. It's a new magnet that goes into the boxes, so if you want to collect them, you can. If you don't like the QR code on them, I've put the QR code which takes you directly to the website. Just makes it nice and easy. But if you don't like it there, just cut it off and have some fun little magnets to go onto your fridge there. So let's pop that one in for Julie. Now the other two orders that I have got to wrap up, one of them I've got to make the tea lights for, so I won't be able to wrap that one up until probably this afternoon. We've got the air conditioning going, so it will cool them down quick enough for me to be able to pack them. And I'm also hoping to hear back from Rita about whether or not I can combine her shipping. I don't like to automatically assume that I can combine shipping if people have placed two separate orders. I like to double check with them first. So hopefully we'll hear back from Rita at some point today. Let's grab some Christmas paper for this one. At the moment, all of our orders that we're getting are being wrapped up in Christmas paper before being sent out. So it's a really good way if you are ordering for other people. You don't have to worry about wrapping presents. You can order them and send them straight to people from off the website. So we've got lots of different ones in there to choose from. I've got some of these which are smaller rolls which came from out of the advent calendar, and they've got some very traditional Christmas patterns on them. And then I have some rolls down here as well which have very Australian style printing, but it doesn't matter what you order, you will get some form of Christmas wrapping on orders from now until Christmas. Hopefully this one, yep, this one's just wide enough, so we'll get this one all wrapped up. I have to make the tea lights, and then I've got some soaps over on this bench which I need to get wrapped up, and then I can actually start making the face cream because that is an absolute priority to get made today. So I've almost finished wrapping Julie's and we'll get on to getting some space cleared. So I am back to packing orders again. I'm doing one here for Bianca, who must absolutely love Dragon's Blood. We've got a medium candle in Dragon's Blood. We've got the reed diffuser. I've also got the tea lights that I made this morning, so they're going to go in there. And then we've got 15 melt pucks, all in Dragon's Blood. It's such a lovely scent. I really, really like this one in winter. I just find it so comforting. So we're going to get this one all packed up. I'm still waiting to hear back from Rita. I have emailed. I have also tried through Messenger. I have just not heard from her, but I'm pretty sure she's going to be okay with me actually packing it up as one and refunding the postage on. She had 2 orders, one had free shipping and one didn't. And the thing is, it's actually going to be cheaper for me to put it into one box and refund that shipping because of the size of the products that are going into the boxes. Even though that one lot of shipping has been paid for, my shipping costs are going to be a lot higher if I put them in the 2 separate ones. It's actually cheaper for me to refund it and send it as part of the free shipping deal that I do. All right, so just been and got all the extra little bits to pop into Bianca's order here. Unfortunately, I don't have any Dragon Blood soap samples, so I have still picked quite a woody scent for her box to go in. I do try and match, if you've got smelly products in the in your order, I do try to match the little ray of sunshine to the sort of scent profile. I need to print up some more stickers to go on my box here. In fact, no, I don't. I know where I've got one. So we'll do that in just a moment. I'm just a little bit frazzled. So I've made my face cream and that's all sitting there. I've just got to go ahead and put the preservative and all the cool down ingredients into it. So I've done all of that and been pottering around. I thought better go and do my washing up out the back. On Saturday last week, before I left the shop, I'd unmolded some soaps and I put the soap molds out the back in my sink and I'd put them into the sink. There was nothing else in the sink. It was a dry sink, so there was no, there was no water or anything in there. And today I've gone to go and wash up my molds and I don't know if I'm devastated, cross, angry, or just completely and utterly stunned. I did say in the last vlog that one of my molds had developed a crack, and it's not this one, but it had developed a split in the mold and I was starting to look for replacements. I didn't think they were going to last much longer. Well, I've just picked these molds up to go and wash them. And it looks like someone has gone at these with a knife. I can't even explain to you what has happened. Like, that end's all split. We've got holes in that one. And then I've got this mold that is also split down the sides and a great big hole in it. It's like, what on earth? Like, these were just sitting in there in the sink like I do all the time, and it's like, I don't know. So there were 2 other of these sitting in the sink along with my big slab mold. Those 3 liners are all fine, but these 2 liners are cactus. I can't do anything with them at all. I honestly don't understand what has happened. There was, there wasn't a knife in the sink. There was nothing else but these sitting in the sink. So I don't know why these have just absolutely shredded. It just blows my mind. So as I said, I'm a little bit gobsmacked. I'm a bit, what am I going to do now? I've gone from having 4 molds to having just 2. That's definitely not enough, and I don't think there's enough paper on that roll, so we won't use that one. But yeah, it's not a good thing. I'm definitely not impressed at what's happened. There's just no reason for my molds to look like that. And, for the amount of money that you pay for these things, I definitely look after them. So I have absolutely no idea, and I've still not been able to find any liners or anything to use. So I think what I'm going to have to do is over the Christmas New Year break is I'm going to have to go and make some wood molds and go back to the good old fashioned, you know, lining it with paper, because I'm certainly not buying any more of those silicone molds. I just don't understand how they've gone so wrong. But anyhow, I'm going to finish getting Bianca's order all wrapped up. I've ended up picking out the reindeer paper here. We'll get this one done. I'm pretty sure I will give it until 3 o'clock for Rita to message me. And if I haven't heard from her, no, I still don't have anything here, then I will probably just send it off as one parcel. She's got some of the tumblers, some of those face mask sets. Yeah, so I'll get all of that done. And I've got so much to do, but my brain is just so frazzled, especially now with this mold thing. It's just kind of sent me off on a whole new tangent. We'll see what happens. I mean, there's nothing I can really do about the molds. They are cactus. So the problem is we actually don't have anyone here in Australia that makes decent soap making equipment. Most of our soap suppliers who do sell molds are actually selling ones that are coming from AliExpress or Alibaba, because they'd have the buying capacity, and they're just, none of them are the correct size for me. They're either too small or too big. And because I've already got all my boxes all printed up and everything, I can't really change them right at this point in time. Not until I'm due to change my boxes. Why is my bench wet? I've got wet stuff on my bench. Oh, the day's not going well. So we don't really have any good suppliers. We certainly don't have any here that are willing to do custom molds. I am pestering Lee, but she's got so much on. She's moved into a brand new house. She's got so much that she actually needs to do. So I know that realistically she can't make me any molds. Not right now, but hopefully I can knock up a couple of wooden ones, and that might actually do until I can sort something else out. But yeah, my brain's a bit frazzled this afternoon, and I've still got a couple of hours until I get to go home. So I'm going to keep pottering around doing things, and we'll see. You can tell I'm frazzled because I'm making absolutely no sense and just rambling. So I'll just keep working. To the shop super early today. Well, I say super early, it's not as early as I intended. Traffic was terrible. We're about an hour before the shop opens up, but I've got so much to do this week, and I actually don't feel like I accomplished enough yesterday. I was a little bit frazzled by things. I've been trying to work out my Google Merchant Center in the morning. It's got a suspension on it for misrepresentation and misleading, and I don't know why, because everything is true and accurate, linked to the website. I've messaged Google. They've told me that, first of all, they told me they couldn't help until I sorted out that suspension. But it's like, well, I don't know how to sort out the suspension. And when I said that to them, I said, can you at least tell me what it is so I can fix it? And the second time they messaged back, they said they couldn't tell me due to privacy reasons. It's just like, oh, I give up. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm trying to get my merchant center sorted out. It's kind of like a business thing in the background where you can link your business into it, and then you can do all your Google advertising. So you can do free advertising and you can do paid advertising. So Google will not help me sort my account out so I can give them money to advertise. It's absolutely crazy how these businesses actually do operate. But I'd spent so much time on that in the morning, and I was going round and round and round in circles, and my head was just, by the time I got into the shop yesterday, my head was just like, I can't deal with this. And I then wasn't in the right frame of mind to get everything organized throughout the day. And then when I had that dilemma with the molds, that's just sent my brain going off in all other directions, because all I know is that this week I've got a ton of wholesale soaps to make and I'm missing 2 molds. Like that's a pretty big thing. So my head's going, how am I going to do this? I did decide last night. I was livid. I was absolutely livid over the state of these molds. They're only 3 years old. I actually looked up when I did a video on them, because I actually had, I think one or two of the molds were given to me as part of a collab, and then I bought all the other molds. And I looked for that collab video, which I've actually updated to say that the molds have just disintegrated, so I don't recommend them anymore. And that it was put out in September of 2022, so they're only 3 years old. I've got other molds that are close to 10 years old and are not falling apart. So I decided I was absolutely livid about this thing. And then last night, chatting to George, he showed me a company he's been using to get silicone molds in, and they do actually have one that is supposedly the right size. And he said the mold that he got in, actually the sizes did match. So I've ordered one to see what happens. And if it is the right size, I will order a couple more in, and then either I'll try and make a wooden mold, or I know that I suggested to George a while ago, and I might get him to do it for me, is to utilise the men's shed to make some moulds. The men's shed here in Australia, and if you've never heard of them here in Australia, it's like a little community group for mainly men. The men that I've seen in them are retired men, but I think any man can actually join them. And it is basically like a little bit of a social club for men, and they do a lot of woodworking and that sort of thing, and then they go to the markets and sell whatever it is that they've been making. But they also make things for people. It does cost you, you do have to pay for it, fair enough, but generally they do them at really good prices, and it's just to give the men something to do. And I think they also do a lot of sort of charity work, bringing men in who are feeling a bit down and out in life and that sort of thing, bring them in and, get them involved in the community. So it's a really good little community. If you've got a men's shed near you, we actually do have a men's shed, which is literally, Pepper and I walk past it every day on our walk, but they're only open Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday, and they're in hours when I'm in the shop, so I actually can't get down there to talk to them to see if they can make me these molds or not. So I'll see what happens. We'll get this silicone mold in, I'll have a look at it and I'll judge it, see if I can find time to visit my local men's shed, and if not, I might hit George up and get him to talk to his men's shed and then get him to ship the molds up. So I am working through this really annoying thing, but it is still putting a bit of pressure on with the whole soap making process, especially with everything I have to do today. But I was so frazzled and just wasn't thinking straight yesterday that I really didn't get a lot of work done. So I decided to come in early today, and I also stopped off at the shop on my way through. I'm going to go and put this bit away, and then I'll show you what I actually grabbed. Oh, I forgot to say, I got my new Anya apparel come in. I went and picked it up from the post office because it wouldn't be dropped off at home. Went and picked it up at the post office yesterday. This is for Josh Neal, who is one of our wildlife carers down in Victoria. absolutely amazing guy. Him and his family, his wife, his daughter, his mother, all look after injured wildlife. And he's, I follow him on Instagram. I think he's on TikTok and everything else as well, but he's absolutely amazing with what he does. And he's just done a second merch drop. And I think there's still stuff in there, including water bottles, socks and all sorts. So I went and grabbed myself this t-shirt, and I actually upsized this time. Instead of getting what normally would have fit me, I went up a size, because generally promotional stuff you do have to go up a size, and I forgot the last time I ordered. So even though the stuff I ordered last time does fit me, it's not that loose casual fit, so it's a bit more of a tighter t-shirt, whereas I like to have a nice loose fit on my t-shirts. So they came in absolutely brilliant quality. If you are interested, I will leave links down below, so you go and check him out, give him a little bit of support. He does absolute wonders. Not only does he look after our wildlife, he works full time, but he actually does a lot of night shift work, like 12-hour night shift works. I don't know how he does what he does, because I can't even stay awake these days past 9 o'clock, and yet the stuff he does is absolutely amazing. As I said, I have got lots to do. As I walked out the door last night, I remembered there's a soap out the back that I made on Saturday that needs cutting. So I'm going to try and cut that today, Wednesday, 5 days late. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Yeah, 4 days later. So hopefully we don't wreck the cutter. So I'm going to get that one cut. I've got the face cream that needs potting up. I have got a builder soap to come off of the cure rack to get that one all wrapped up and sent out. I have a couple of orders that came in here. We've got one from my good friend Jo over in Perth. She's ordered one of our bulk lot of Guess soaps, a 50 pack, and she's asked if I can mix and match flavours. No problem at all there. And then I also have one from Brett, and they have been customers of mine since I first started doing markets in 2013, some of my very first markets. His wife actually found me, and they've been supporting me ever since, and they've just placed another order, so we're going to get that one packed up, ready to send out. I've got a few things I need to go and put away. I did, when I was stocked off in Coles, I actually got some containers here. I need to make some face masks. I've run out of my little face mask gift sets that I do because I've actually run out of the pouches, but I did find some of the pouches I need to use up, but I don't want to make so many and be left with them after Christmas. So I'm actually just going to make up bulk lots of face masks in these containers, and then as I need them I can scoop them out and make up the face masks. So that is another job for today. I bought Pepper some bubbles. We did buy her a bubble machine, which didn't work very well, so she didn't really understand the concept of bubbles, but I saw this in Coles. It was $3. I thought, you know what, I'm going to get this bubble wand and we're going to play with bubbles. And I also got myself some cold brew tea. This is what I actually prefer. So yesterday I was trying those water drop things. For me, I don't like the sweetener in them. The sweeteners make me give me this funny taste in my mouth, this funny sort of sweet taste that lasts for like ages. I just don't like sweeteners like that. This is what I normally put in my water throughout summer, in my cold waters. These are like a cold brew tea, and the only sugars that are actually in these are the natural fruit sugars that come out. So I bought myself a pack of those. I hadn't seen them for a while, but I actually spotted them on the shelf today. It must be because we're coming back into summer and people like the cold brew teas then. So I grabbed myself that. So I'm going to go and make myself a cold brew drink here, and then we're going to come back out and we're going to start doing a little bit of work before I actually open up the shop, and hopefully I can get myself back on track for the week. 5 minutes early. There's a pet peeve. There's a guy sitting out in a big stinky diesel 4-wheel drive, just sitting in the car parking spot in front of my shop with the engine running, and he's been there for 10 minutes. I've got an absolute headache from the rumbling of the car, and the diesel smells awful. Not only that, he's actually on his hands-free in the car, and you can just hear the conversation. It's like, I'm closing the door 5 minutes early. I don't need to listen to any more of this. But it's been a really, really good day. I've had a lot of people coming in. I've just brought my little trolley in, and a fair few things have been purchased. The little shelf was full, so a fair few things have been purchased from off the trolley today. I do also need to make some more Mistletoe Kisses candle. That's been the most popular. I don't think I'll be doing Christmas candles next year because they just don't sell for me. So this will be the very last year I actually do Christmas candles. But I haven't actually shown you the shop. I haven't actually got the lights on at the moment. I've just turned them all off, but you can see I've got lots of tinsel and we've got all these sort of like dancing things around. People love it. They're coming in. You've got he sings, people, they always ask me how much they are. And it's like, no, it's just part of the shop decorations. I've got my little ginger over there. If you watch along on the Instagram stories, you know I found him. He did light up, but the batteries didn't last for very long. I've got all my tinsel, and then we've got a Christmas tree in the middle. It has got a light up star on the top of it. I did have fairy lights on here, which I got from out of IKEA, but they are battery chewers. So I've just not put they've already gone through 2 lots of batteries in 1.5 weeks, so I've just not even bothered replacing them. And when you come in the shop, I've also got the tinsel around. This one's actually got some lights in it as well, so that's usually all lit up when people come in. But it's feeling nice and festive. A lot of people have been really drawn into it, absolutely love the decorations and things. Christmas is going a lot better in the shop this year than it did last year, which is really nice. And I think a lot of that is to do with the fact that the roads have been open. And there's also been a lot of talk among the retailers down this end of the street. I've spoken to a few of them now, and we've all noticed that we're kind of like the uncool kids down this end of the street, and all the cool kids are up the top end. There's things like every year here in Caloundra, they do a business Christmas tree thing up in the top of the cinemas, and I've tried to find out how I get involved in that, and nobody has got back to me. So once again, I've missed out on putting a business tree up in the Christmas tree display. Someone did say to me that they think there's like this little retailers club, like for all the shops, but it sounds a little bit exclusive and not for the bottom end of the street. So there's quite a few of us down this end of the street that have basically had enough, and we're actually working together now to try and bring a little bit more down this way, especially now that the road is open and we're seeing a lot more foot traffic. So we've got a few agencies and things that are really working with the shops down this end of the street to try and pull more people down, and it really is working, which is absolutely brilliant, and hopefully we'll leave the top end behind. They can't be a part of our cool club. But it is a bit sad when it gets to a point like that, when they won't even tell you how to participate in things. I know last year there was a best dressed shop thing, and I can't find out how you get to enter that either. So, which is a bit sad, but you know, politics happen no matter where you go. But it's been a really good, productive day. A few people in. I've got hand cream on the bench cooling down. I have started to do the face masks. I've got the chocolate one done. So what I'm going to do is make them up and pop them into these containers. And then when I'm ready, I can put some into these little clear, you can't see it, but there's a little clear pouch in my hands. I'll put some of these to make the little gift packs. And then this is what I'm going to be presenting my face masks in going forward once all the glass jars are done. So I can basically scoop out of here what I need to fill up whatever pouch I actually need to sell over the Christmas time, so I don't end up with a whole heap of these after Christmas. Although I could fill them and then empty them out and put them into these, that's a waste of these little pouches, so I only want to fill them up if I actually need to use them. So I think this way is going to work for me. So I've got the Renewal, the chocolate and coconut one done. Tomorrow when I come in, I'll do the others and we'll pot up that hand cream. And I will get the tallow cream on tomorrow as well. And I do need to make this foaming sugar scrub that's on my list as well. Hopefully we can get it all done. But for now it is 4 o'clock. I need to go and get these orders down to the post office. I have come to the conclusion today I don't think I'm making any soap this week because I just don't think I'm going to have the time. It might have to be a next week thing. It's lovely to have so many people coming into the shop, so I'm definitely not going to complain about that, but it does make me have to rethink how I actually do my work. When I don't get people in, I can continuously work, and then when I do get lots of people in, it does actually put me behind in what I can create. So I have to start to kind of replan my working week. So good problems to have. I'm going to head on home, go and see Miss Pepper, go see what crazy things she's up to. I hope you enjoyed her little walk this morning. This is a real habit of hers, is to do what I call piggy rolls while we're walking along. If you follow the Instagram stories, you would have seen various posts I've done. We walk her by this lake with big long grass, and she loves just to run and jump and roll in it. And this in the mornings lately, because it's been too wet on the grass, so she can't piggy roll through the grass. She's been rolling through this one garden. They've got all these dry leaves on the footpath side, and every morning she heads for them and she just rolls all through them. And this morning she was so busy rolling around in them, she didn't even notice her friend Deja walking by until it was too late to say hello. But it also gave Deja's dad a good laugh to see her rolling all around in the leaves. But our little 40-50 minute walks, we actually don't go that far, because every 10-20 meters or so, Pepper likes to do little piggy rolls through the grass. And she's not trying to get a harness off or anything. She initially started it to get the harness off, and then I think she's actually just decided that she loves that sensation of rolling through the grass everywhere we go, because she does it with or without the harness on, or the halty around her nose. But anyhow, I better go, otherwise I won't make it to the post office and those orders won't go out. We'll be back in the shop tomorrow, and another busy day. Good morning. It is another beautiful day. I've just been sitting and editing the vlog, and now it is time for me to come out to my vanilla orchid and see if we've got any flowers on it. That's right, my vanilla orchid is finally flowering. I honestly thought I had lost it when we moved. Oh, I can see flowers. I did actually think we'd lost it when we moved, and I don't blame it for having a bit of a shock sort of thing. I had to pull it off the wall of the old house and put it into a container, and it didn't like being pulled off the wall. I can completely understand that. It's like an aerial vine, so it just attaches itself to whatever it can. We put it into a container, pinned it all up, and I try to find a new place for it here in this house. Where I initially wanted to put it, it didn't like it. It kind of just sat in a place for so long. It really wasn't doing well. I thought I'd lost the plant. Pepper decided to take bits of a younger plant for a tour of the garden one day, and I just popped it into another pot out the back where she couldn't get it, and the orchid absolutely thrived there. So we ended up moving the big orchid, and it's kind of like in this area that she cannot get to. She knows she's not allowed in here. She's currently sulking just down there, but we'll have a play in a minute. She's listening to the lizards. But this is where we popped the vanilla orchid, and it was struggling a little bit. I didn't think I'd see any flowers come out on here, but I noticed we had a total of 5 flower clusters. I don't think we'll get too many vanillas because it's kind of still really recovering, but you can see we've got some flowers. We've actually got 5 flowers open today for pollinating. There's another one just tucked behind the leaf there. Now, to pollinate these flowers, it's quite sad really. The flowers only open for the first part of the morning, and then they're gone by midday. So you have to get in nice and early to pollinate them. They have to be hand pollinated here because we don't have the correct bug to actually get into where it needs to go to pollinate it. And even in countries where this grows natively and has the correct bug to pollinate them, you still find that the vanillas are hand pollinated to make sure as many of the flowers actually pollinate as possible. But to get to them, this is going to be very, very hard one-handed. you literally have to destroy the flower. I was so sad the first time I had to do this, but then I kind of felt better knowing that by 11, 12 o'clock, these flowers are not going to be open anymore and beyond the point of pollinating. Now, hopefully I've been able to balance the camera just right so that I can do this and you can watch me do it and we won't go in and out of focus. But basically you need to peel everything back to get into this stamen. And I know you're not going to be able to see it because it's so small, but I have got a little skewer, and under this stamen you kind of have to lift it up, lift the flap that's underneath, and then push the two pieces together like that. So then you have a rather sad looking flower on the orchid, but this should then grow into a vanilla. I can see that this one here, that is going to turn into a beautiful vanilla here. A couple of these actually did fall off before I got a chance because it started flowering before I was able to get out here. And I'm not sure what we'll get. We've got these couple of other smaller ones around here and I'm not sure what we'll actually get off them. The first time this flowered on me, I only had one flower spike. I'm trying to get out of the sun there. That's better. I only had one flower spike. The second year I did get two, but I still only got the same amount of vanillas that I did the year that it only gave me one flower spike. That's the word. And then we had a couple of years where I didn't get any with that whole moving thing, and this year it's thrown off 5 flower spikes, which I was really amazed at considering how sick this was looking. We'll see how many we actually get off it, hopefully quite a few, but I won't know for quite a number of months. It will then take 9 months for the vanillas to grow and mature, ready for picking off, and then it will be another 3 or 4 months before I have to dry them and then I can use them, and I've been using them in some of my products. So I'm going to finish pollinating the rest of these, and then I'm going to have a play with this one who's rolling around in the bush there. So it's been a busy morning so far. I was a few minutes late into the shop. As I got into the car and started up, the fuel light flashed on. It's like, I forgot I was meant to stop and get petrol this morning, but luckily it's only like a little country service station sort of thing, so it's really quick and easy to go through it. So I was only about 5 minutes late into the shop. I have got a batch of tallow cream on the go. I've had a little bit of a tidy up so I can actually get on with making other things today. But first of all, what I am doing is packing an order that I've had come in for Kathy. She's actually one of my Cleveland customers. Her and her son used to come into the shop quite a bit. And when I moved up here, she joined the Pamper Club and she's been ordering her candles through the website instead. Speaking of Pamper Club, her Pamper Club renewal occurred a couple of weeks ago. So she does get her little Pamper Club pamper set, and because it's her second year, there is a face mask set in here. So it's a little glass jar face mask and plus the utensils to use it. And she has been ordering her candles. She's got her favourite ones here, the black amber and the dragon's blood. So we'll get those in there. And then she's also ordered one each of the Christmas ones. Now I know I said yesterday that I had sold out of the mistletoe kisses. So when I saw the order come through, I was like, oh no, I'm going to have to make them tomorrow. And then I remembered I actually do have a couple of the Christmas candles in the window as window display stock. So I was able to go and grab one of those out the window and we can get the order packed. Probably not going to make candles till tomorrow though. This just trying to juggle it all at the moment's a little bit tricky, but I am getting there. It's like I said yesterday, it is a good problem to have. Can't really complain about being busy, can I? That would be silly. But we're going to get this order all packed up, ready to go out this afternoon. I did also work out this morning. I thought I was going to be able to do it, but I did work out this morning that you know how I packed the Guess soaps yesterday for my friend and I said that yes, she could do a mixed bundle of fragrances. I have actually been wanting to do the Guess soaps as a mixed bundle, and you can pick what scents you want to go into those lots, like the 50 and the 100 packs. And I have actually worked out how to do it. So now I just need to sit down and actually build the product page up and put that little bundle into them. So then if you want to order the bundle of 50 and you want 25 of one scent and 25 of another, you can easily pick which ones that you want to do. So I am going to work on getting that done. What do I need? I need a sticker. So just grab my phone. I now actually print all of my stickers for my parcels as I need them through the Bluetooth Munbin thing. So I've actually got one saved on here. We're going to go that one. I'll go and grab the sticker and show you what's going out on all of the Christmas orders at the moment. So I got the little Santa hat things. It says, let's be naughty and save Santa the trip. So I'm going to stick that on there to cover that one up. So now that I've got this one almost finished being packed, we've just got to wrap it, get it into a postal satchel. Once I've done that, I'm going to get on with doing the face masks, the clay face masks, just making them up in those bulk boxes. I will then make one each of the ones that are going to be the main product that will go on the shelf, so I can take photos of them getting ready to launch. And I will also make up, I think, maybe 2 packs each of the different clay face masks as gift packs to have in store and pop back online. I'll make them up, and then I do actually need to take them back home with me to retake the photos so that the correct photos are on there, so that I can't be accused of misrepresentation from Google. Still can't work out what I've done wrong. They've said certain bits have been authorized, but I'm still suspended. I don't know. I'm going to have to actually find time, probably after Christmas when things are a little bit less chaotic, and sit down and try and find some help out there on how to get it all set up and go from there. But I do need to take proper photos of these face mask sets. So that's what I'm going to get on with doing today. getting on for 2:30 and it has been such a good productive day. I've got all of the cool down ingredients into the tallow cream, so that is cooling down over there, ready for us to pot it tomorrow. Right now I'm potting up the hand cream. I've got some where I'm actually just making samples. I'm not making any big tubes because I already have enough on the shelf, but I figured while I was making the other hand creams up, I may as well make the fresh sample pots to go out on the side. I'm pretty sure I mentioned it earlier on in the vlog, but I've got new sampler jars to go out on the shelf. We're putting these out instead. Just going to make it easier that people don't accidentally throw product all over the floor. But I've got a nice clean patch of floor over there because it happens quite regularly. But I figured while making a big batch of hand cream, I may as well tack on a little bit extra to make these little pots and then make some samplers as well. I just thought it'd be easier to do like a little 100-gram sort of mix from off my master batch, make some samples to give out in orders. I give out these samples in all online orders as well as shop purchases. And I do find, like, I've just had a lady in here now and I had samples in her bag when she left the other day, and she's just come back and bought more of the sampler that I gave to her. So they really do work to give these little samplers out. They generally cost me anywhere from 15 to 20 cents to give out, but they always result in more business coming back. So always handing out my little samplers there. But that is the first one. There's not quite enough in there to make another sample. So not going to waste it. We don't waste anything here. Let's just squeeze it into the sampler pot here. So I also have to make another one up, my midnight rose, where I'll just make some little samples and the little sampler pot, and then I need to make up a few in the tubes, including the cashmere silk because that's the most popular, sun-kissed, and what was the other one we were doing? Happy Hippie. Happy Hippie's been really popular this week, so going to get all of those done up. I have done up all those masks, so I've got my little basket of goodies here to take home. I've got to go and take photos of these ones because of the new pouches, and then this is how the face masks will be coming once we clear out the glass ones. So I'm going to take them home and take photographs of those as well. I've got all the orders sitting over there that have been coming in throughout the day, ready to get their shipping labels on in about half an hour. But pretty much now what I'm going to do is keep pottering around, doing these sort of little mundane tasks that need to be done. Tomorrow's plan is to make candles. I am actually out of quite a few of them and desperately need to do them up. What was I going to do is this one, Midnight Rose. So that's tomorrow's plan. I will have to bring some candle jars up to the shop so we can do those. Tonight my hubby is taking our nephew to his formal do. Going to be quite interesting. One of the things they do up here, apparently it's become a bit of a tradition after one parent did it. Some of the kids who know people with, you know, classic cars or fancy cars like that, they get taken to this spot around the corner where they go and then have their sort of formal photos taken with all the fancy cars. And my nephew asked hubby if he could please take him and his mate to this thing in the GT that he's got. So hubby was very excited about that. So he's going to take my nephew and his friend to the formal tonight. So they're going to go and do photos, and then he has to go and drop them off at where the formal event actually is. And I said to my husband, just remember when you go there, you are going to have to go the long way round. And he's looked at me and I said, the speed bumps down those roads, they're going to pull the bottom of your car engine out. I said, so you're going to have to go the long way and over the more, it's where the race course is here in Caloundra. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4 speed bumps along this road. 2 of them are just like a little doop over the road. One of them's a fairly hefty speed bump. And the 4th one, even my car, my big Nissan Navara, struggles to get over this this speed bump. It is a nasty one, and I've seen so many people bottom their cars out on it. It really is ridiculous. It's not a speed bump at all. It is a dangerous obstacle in the road. And I've said to hubby, you cannot come into the race course from that end because you'll take the bottom of the car out. You have to go the long way round, and just be very careful over the first speed bump at the other end, because it's still actually quite a nasty one. So he's actually looking forward to that. He's quite thrilled that his nephew asked him to do that. That's been one of the really nice things about moving up here, is doing a few more things with my husband's side of the family. So I'm going to keep pottering around, getting this done. I'm going to try and take those photos tomorrow and get them up online. Sorry, I thought there was someone waiting to come in through the door, but no, it's just someone actually standing there with their back to my door, blocking the entrance. Anyhow, I'm going to keep pottering around, doing these bits and pieces. Probably won't do much more filming, so I can get as much work done as I possibly can, so that tomorrow when we come in, we can get onto making candles, because that is an absolute priority to do tomorrow. Sorry, I wasn't sure if that person was going to come in or not. It always feels so weird when people are staring at you through the window when you're talking to yourself. But I am going to have to find a new way of working, at least for the crazy season, to make sure that I am getting everything done and, you know, really working my time. And it's something, never be afraid to actually change your processes. I had enough stuff on my list that I could allocate, as I used to always do, one big job and a couple of little jobs, or two big jobs. And it's just not worked for me this week because of just unexpected things happening. So I will have to revisit how I do that, but it's a good problem to have as well, knowing that I'm so behind because I've been busy in the shop. And you know what, sometimes it's not busy with people actually buying, which can be a little bit of a downer. Sometimes it is just busy with people coming in just to browse. You quite often get older people coming into retail shops and all they want to do is chat. They're just lonely and want to have a chat, and it really does put you behind. But you know, know, if that's what they want to do and I can help by giving a little chat sometimes, well, you know, so be it, if that's what my purpose is. But yeah, this week I am feeling a little bit stressed. I have been prioritizing what needs to be made, what needs to be done, and then every time I get that priority done, I see that there's another priority on the shelf. I've actually just noticed I've sold out of the sun-kissed moisturizer, and I just didn't even have plans to make moisturizer this week. I hadn't noticed it was so low. But it is the way it is. My next sort of priority is to get these candles made, because I've actually got quite a few where I have got no medium ones actually left, and that's my most popular size. So I'm going to get these orders all done up, and then we'll move on to making candles. And I've also got to pot up that tallow cream. I have, as I said, given up on the idea of making the wholesale soaps this week. I do actually have the melt tank full of oil ready to go, but it's going to have to wait until next week, I think, just get myself fully stocked. I did just see online that there is going to be the Christmas street fair in 2 weeks' time. So I'm actually contemplating now, because it has actually got a bit busier, I'm actually contemplating opening for that. So I really need to get myself kind of sorted. Normally, I made the decision after the first couple of street events not to bother opening, because of the way the roadworks were, the roads were closed and stuff. I just got no business out of it. But I am kind of thinking now that a lot more people are coming down this end, and a lot more people are actually saying, oh, I never come down this end of the street, I should do it more often. I'm hoping that this is a new mentality. So I will actually open. It goes from 4 till 8, and I normally close at 4. So what I might do is I'll stay open, like I'll just stay open and gauge how many people are coming in, give it up until say 6 o'clock, and see what happens. Now, people are probably thinking, well, what about your postage? You know, you won't get it out. Here's the thing with my post office. There is a post office here in town that I could go to and probably get it in time to get the parcels collected and sent out today. But it is a really, really busy post office, and they don't really have a drop-off zone. Quite often when you do parcels like this for business, you can do all your stuff online, and then you can walk in and just put your parcels on the bench and walk back out. Get plenty of desk stares from everyone else who's standing in the queue. It's quite funny, but you know, that's something you can do. But at this one in Caloundra, there's actually not really anywhere you can do that, especially if you've only got 1 or 2 parcels. Now, the ladies have said to me, all I need to do is go and grab one of the IGA trolleys, put my parcels in that, and then leave it by their little door. It's like, I really don't want to do that, because nobody's there to stop anyone else from coming in and grabbing them. So I do make the choice to drive out to our local post office, which is only a couple of minutes from home. But the problem is I don't get there until 4:45, and their parcels are picked up between 4 and 4:30. So if I drop off parcels today, which is Friday, they actually won't leave my post office until Monday. So when I drop them off on, say, a Thursday, they go out on a Friday. It's just one of those things that I can go to the post office up here, but there's nowhere safe for me to leave them. I end up spending probably half an hour waiting in the line just to drop parcels on the bench, nothing else. Or I can go home, get home half an hour quicker, because I'm at the post office most days. I can get home quicker, but the parcels go out the following day. And I kind of did make that selfish choice to drop it off at the local post office instead. So even if I do decide to stay open late on that Friday, those parcels actually won't get taken down to, or any orders I receive that day won't get taken to the post office till Monday, but they wouldn't have gone out until Monday anyway. So it's all swings and roundabouts, really. Anyhow, I've got an order here for Kathleen. We're going to get this one packed. She has got one of our soap boxes. I need to find a box to put this in. So we've got one of our soap boxes full of all our odds and ends. She's grabbed the gorgeous Sorrento Limoncello soap. We've also got a very overlooked orange cranberry soap for Christmas. This is the only Christmas soap I've got left, and everyone that's had it has said it is so nice, and they can't believe it's not selling as well as it is. It's actually a custom blend of fragrances with some cranberry, some orange, so it's a bit of sweet, bit of tart, a bit of uplifting. Such a beautiful soap. She's also ordered our Spa Day, which is one of those mystery jug soaps that I made, and we've also got some perfume oil. So I need to go and find her shipping box to get these ones in, and then we will get Kathleen's order all packed up. All right, so I'm going to share my excitement. It might not be exciting to others, but it's exciting to me. These soap boxes, normally when these get ordered, they don't fit in my regular small shipping box. These boxes are just a little bit taller and they just don't fit into them properly. So usually I have to put them into a medium satchel, which pushes my postage up. So I've priced these accordingly to what sort of postal satchel these will generally go out in. But I did order some special boxes for when I did the advent calendar, decided not to use them. So I've got these special boxes, and these fit in them beautifully. And these boxes will go into the small shipping satchel. So that actually now means I can sit down and actually review the price of these soap box ends. So I do apologise to those of you who have already ordered them at the current price, but it is usually because of the whole shipping thing, how, you know, what sort of price it's going to cost me to ship something. But I will actually have a bit of a review of the price now that I can actually fit it into a small shipping box. So I'm going to go and get all the bits and pieces together to finish wrapping Kathleen's up. I'm going to pop in one of our cute little magnets. I love these. Just need a little bit of fill, and then we'll be ready to wrap it up with some Christmas paper. So the final order I've got to pack here from what I received overnight is for William, one of our Pamper Club members. He loves to see his orders packed here on the vlog, so we're going to get that one done. We have got one of the soap boxes with all of the odds and ends, and he's also ordered the Sun-Kissed moisturizer. This is why I need to make some more of it. And then we've got lots of soaps. He always orders lots of soaps from me. We've got one of the Witch's Brew soaps. I'm going to sit her in there nicely. We've got the orange cranberry and also Noosa Sands. What else have we got here? We've got the papaya coconut cream. We've got some Ocean Deep. We've got pine tar. Love that soap. Pomegranate as well. What else have we got? Virtue. We've got the oatmeal and goat's milk soap, as well as the calendula oat and olive oil soap. We also have one of the salt glows. William also grabbed a set of that Sorrento limoncello, the little large and mini. And we also have the everyday clean cotton and black raspberry. Now I know this box looks a little bit too big for the order, but I have already tried packing it in the next size box down and it didn't fit. And then I had a load of people come into the shop. So I've been really busy between the last order and packing Williams. So that is another really good problem to have. Let's get some paper shred. We're going to need more than that. So let's get this paper shred in here, and then we'll pop in our usual little goodies, our little ray of sunshine, just to make him smile when he opens it up. He's not yet had one of our new magnets, and I've also got a little foot spray sampler to go in there. Let's get this one all wrapped. So once I've got William's parcel all wrapped up, I'm going to move on to making the candles. I'm going to get my door open. I've actually had it closed for most of the morning while I've been doing some filming and stuff. But I'm going to get that door open and get some of those candle smells wafting out there. Not that I think I really need it today. I've already had quite a few people coming through into the shop, which has been really good, a real good booster as well. But I think once we get some candle smells going out into the street, we'll actually attract even more people into the shop. So hopefully it's going to be a busy day. And somewhere in between making those candles, fire alarm. Great, we're going to get that tallow cream done, but I'm going to turn this off because you don't need to hear the fire alarm going off. All right, so I've just finished pouring all of those candles. I had a bit of lunch and a new order has come in, and this is for Heidi, another long-time follower and customer of mine. She supports me through Patreon as well. So we're going to get Heidi's order packed up. She's ordered one of our soapbox odds and ends, also grabbed that Sorrento limoncello, and also one of the lemon, honey and turmeric clay tanicle soaps. These boxes, they're actually making me laugh at the moment. These soapy odds and ends, they're not always available. It just depends how many odds and ends I've got from off of soaps to whether or not I can make up some boxes. And I released the last lot on the 30th of September. I'm just going to grab some shredded paper. So that was about, what, 7 weeks ago. And in those 7 weeks, I have not sold any of the odds and ends boxes. And today, or from last night, I've sold 3 of them. I have one more left on the shelf, but I do actually have a whole heap of odds and ends in a bucket out the back. So once that one on the shelf is gone, I'll be able to make up some more and update the quantities on the website. But it just always makes me laugh. You can never really gauge how things are going to go. And this is kind of what's happened with Christmas, like going off past experience. Like last year, the Christmas stuff, I was still selling in the end of year sales. This year, I just relabeled everything. Same with Halloween. The year before that, I also had stuff left over from Christmas. So this year, I actually made up pretty much the same sort of amount of stuff that I usually do, a couple of extra little things, a few less of others. And this year I've not been able to keep up on the actual stock levels. Things have just sold out so quickly. I've been taken by absolute surprise. And it was like yesterday, I had a lady in here and she said, "What Christmas stuff do you have?" And I said, "Look, unfortunately, I don't have a lot of Christmas stock left. This is what I've got." And I showed her the candles, the melts, and the Naughty or Nice foaming sugar scrub. And she said, "That's all you've got?" And I said, "Unfortunately, yes." I said, "The Christmas release sold within a week. All the Christmas soaps sold within a week." And she goes, "Well, you do realise it's November." And it's like, "Yeah, I do," which doesn't give me enough time to make soap. I didn't say that to her. I said, "Look, I know." I said, "Unfortunately, I wasn't prepared for how fast everything was going to go this year. I made the same amount of stock that I did for the previous year, which lasted me all through Christmas, and in fact was selling it after Christmas at discounted prices and relabeled." And I said, "This year it's just been that everybody has wanted the Christmas stuff again." She was giving me all these tips. "Or maybe you should make some more and then just relabel it if it doesn't sell." And it's like, No, my Christmas soaps do look obviously Christmas once they're actually made up and things like that. So it's just really funny. You can never really predict how well things are going to go or not go. I could have made double the amount of stock this year and still not have sold it. It may not have gone off as well as it did, and I'm so grateful to everyone who has been ordering and cleared me out of all those Christmas soaps quite early on. And I did say I probably wouldn't be doing the Christmas candles again, but I've actually now sold everything. Like, I've had people coming in today, I've had the orders coming in, and they've now all cleared the first lot. So I did make some more Christmas candles over there, so we'll see how things actually do go before I completely decide to do away with Christmas candles next year. I've been threatening to do it for years. In fact, one year I didn't make Christmas candles and everyone was really upset with me for not making them. I can tell you I'm definitely not doing Halloween. But we'll see how it goes for next year. That's, you know, a long way away. We've got to get through this Christmas first. But it is really difficult to be able to keep on top of stock, and especially when it's just such a fickle thing that, yeah, sometimes it sells really quick, sometimes it doesn't. I'm actually running really low on the little utensil sets for my face masks. I got an order in at the same time that I did the Christmas release for the utensil sets, and the amount that I got in usually lasts me about 6 months, and I've already used half of them in a month. So I actually did place another order this morning for another lot of these utensil sets, so hopefully that will keep us going through Christmas. But it has been really, really tricky. Same with these soap boxes. I will have to make up a few more to go on the side because it looks like they're going to be popular over the Christmas break. They're really good to give to visitors or to take on little holidays, or even things like if you're going to the beach for the day, you know how they have the beach showers and stuff. You can take one of those little soaps with you down to the beach, and it doesn't matter if it gets lost or dropped in the sand or anything because it's just a little slither of soap, and they're just so handy for so many different things. But I have almost got Heidi's parcel all wrapped up. The next thing I have to do is pot up this tallow cream, and then I think I'm just going to have a bit of a general tidy up and try and get myself recentered, refocused, so I can continue on with the rest of the day and know what I have to do tomorrow. So I got just over half an hour until I close the doors, and I'm feeling a bit better now, not as stressed as I was earlier. Managed to get on top of things today, and right now I'm just labeling up the tallow cream that I've just potted up and doing the unscented one at the moment. And I thought I'd actually expand a little bit more on these because I suddenly realised last night while sitting and watching the telly, because I'm constantly thinking about my business, is that I kind of in passing referenced these pots but didn't actually give any story to why I'm having to change it. So, and the reason is because I actually thought I talked about it at the beginning on Tuesday, and I sat there thinking, no, I actually got these containers last week and spoke about it on my Instagram stories. So me saying what I said just wasn't going to make much sense unless you saw those stories. So basically I am having to change all of my little sample pots. Normally they are in little containers like this on the shelf, and I did it, noisy bikes. I did them in these little tin containers because I wanted to be a little bit more environmentally friendly. There are certain items on my shelf which are in plastic packaging for safety, but I wanted to do the samplers for people in the store a little bit more environmentally friendly. So I put them into these little tins. However, there are several problems with these tins that just make me laugh all the time. The first problem is that this one patch of my floor is so clean because people open these containers, and it is a natural thing that we do as humans. If you actually pay attention to yourself, you'll see that you do it a lot as well. I know I do it, and I should have thought about it. But when we open things, we tend to do that. We twist, pew, and all the lotion falls out of the container. So many people actually open these on the side. I know that this is actually quite firm because I've had it sitting under the air conditioner, so it's nice and firm. But on a warmer day when the shop's a little bit warmer and the lotions get that little bit runnier, it's just the natural sort of way lotions and creams work. People open these up and they just fall straight out of the container. And I have lost so much sample on the floor because people have opened the containers up on the side. So I'm hoping by having a bigger container and only sort of a third filling, even when people have got them on the side, it's actually not as pronounced because it's a bigger jar. So it should only go on a small sort of angle and we won't end up with as much on the floor. The other sort of problems I've noticed with these tins is a lot of people take the lids off and then they just snap them back on, and then the next person comes to do it. They'll either snap it on like that and they think it's on, but it's actually not. It's really, really loose. And the problem with that, let me find one of them that I found. When people do that, it's then not airtight. And over time, the water will evaporate out of the product if the lid's not on tight, and I end up with samples that look like that. That should actually be my hair mask, but all it is like this clear blob in the bottom of the tin, and I'm wondering why these products aren't selling. And when I've looked at the samples, someone said to me, is this what it actually looks like in the jar? And I went, no. Like that's not what it should look like at all. And I then actually found another one. I actually found two that are exactly the same because people have just basically snapped the lids back on the top and it doesn't seal them. Like so people are doing that, and it, number one, damages the rings around them so that they don't screw on properly. And when you just snap them back on, the air can get in and dry the products out. So I've found quite a number of my samplers like that. The other thing is sometimes when people are snapping them on, they're doing them at an angle and then the next person can't undo them, myself included, can't get the lids off them because they're not sitting on this sort of, I forget what you call them, but the screw top, they're not sitting on it evenly, so you can't get the lids off. So as much as I tried to be environmentally friendly and bring in these containers, it is actually costing me in the long run with samplers that aren't, or samples that aren't the product, so people aren't actually purchasing them. And also so much of it on the floor. So I eventually found someone who did these little 50-gram containers at a relatively decent price, because you know what, a lot of the 50-gram containers cost more than these big containers. These little samplers often cost more to put out on the shelf than what a big jar does to actually make. So after a lot of searching around, I finally found some little 50-gram containers that were a reasonable price for me to be able to put my samplers out. So now I'm in the processes of going through finding which products these I need to actually change over. If I know that I've recently, I basically every so often I will go up to, when I make a new product, I'll go up and I'll get the little sampler tin, I'll wash it out, I'll disinfect it, and then I'll put new sampler in it so that the samples are always nice and fresh. So if I know that I've done that recently, I've just gone around and poured what's in the tin into one of these jars. But for those where I know it hasn't been done recently, as I'm making new products, I am making up new tester jars as well. And hopefully I'll eliminate the problem of the stock being, or the sample being all over the floor, and hopefully people will actually put the lids on them properly. Usually when you snap, it's actually harder to snap plastic lids on. You do have to screw them on, so hopefully people will screw them on and I won't have any more products dry out and look terrible and not want people to, and not make people actually want to buy them. So that's what that sort of reference was yesterday. I am just going to get the last of these labelled up onto the shelf. And then, I've got half an hour. I need to make some more of these odds and ends up again. I do actually have a big bucket of odds and ends that I've been building up. Basically, as the soaps come off the rack, I chuck all the odds and ends in. I do have some other soaps that are due to come off in the next 6 days, so I might wait until then so we get a really nice sort of mix of soaps going through there. I've got one sitting on the side. I think this is probably why I'm getting myself into trouble, because I think I should do this and they go, oh, but if I wait and do this. Oh, the joys of running your own business. All right, anyhow, I am going to potter around for the next half an hour doing this. It is Saturday tomorrow. Hopefully it's going to be another really busy day. It has been a good day in the shop today. I'm absolutely exhausted. I'm very, very tempted that when I drop the parcels off at the post office today to grab some takeaway, but maybe I'll leave. See, here I go again. Maybe I'll leave it tomorrow as an end of week treat. I'll see what I feel like when I get down to the post office. In fact, first of all, I need to message hubby so he can tell me if the dinner actually defrosted in the fridge today, because I didn't get it out till this morning. Oops. Anyway, I'm going to carry on and we'll be back in the shop for the last day of the week. All right, it is Saturday. It is my last working day for the week, and I'm going to try and get as much done as possible. I decided to start my day by coming in 15 minutes early and taking all the rubbish downstairs that's out the back. It's really hard to do it during the week when I've got the shop open, because I have to go all the way downstairs and I don't want to have to leave the shop unattended and don't want to be pulling things in and out of the shop while I go downstairs. So I've come in this morning, I've taken all my recycling down, split it out into all the different bins, took the general rubbish down as well. So I'm feeling a little bit more organised out the back there. But we've got plenty of things to be doing. I did get an order come through from Kim, which we're going to go and pick and pack. I was going to print it up at home, but this morning, just as I went to print it up, we lost power in the house. So that's one of the reasons I also came in that little bit earlier, because we didn't have any power. But it did come back on just as I was picked up my bag and was about to leave, because the lights flicked back on. So luckily they did, so I remembered to turn them off. So I've got to get that one printed. We'll go and get it picked and packed, ready to go out in Monday's post. And now what we're going to do today is going to focus on getting these candles all trimmed up, labelled and onto the shelf. I think I'm going to attempt to also make some outdoor body spray, because I've only got one of the large bottles left. Now, I did notice this morning while I was editing the video, there is a part of the video, the footage is missing, and I don't know if it's because I just didn't push record, so it wasn't there to start with, or sometimes when I'm recording, I think I've pressed stop and then I go to turn the camera off, and if I haven't actually stopped the recording, it deletes that footage. So I don't know if I've done that or just didn't press record. But I was actually packing an order for Lisa. She had one of our heat packs. So I was packing that, and I was saying that I was actually feeling pretty stressed this year with how busy things were, and that the processes that I had been using since moving into this shop, because of, you know, the amount of people that came through and stuff, they were just not working for me at the moment, and I was getting really behind, really struggling. So basically I'm going to have to sit and review and go back to some of the ways that I was working when I was in Cleveland, just to make sure that I am getting everything done and keeping on top of stuff and not having to do extra hours in the shop as well, because it's always nice just to have set work hours. I find I do get more done if I'm a bit more regimented with the hours that I work. But it is now 9 o'clock. I'm going to go and get my doors open. We'll finish labelling these up. I'll do my washing up, and I'll try and make some outdoor body spray to replenish my shelf with that. just had my suspicions confirmed about my neighbouring shop. I've had lots of suspicions about them, but my latest suspicion, I think, is the one that's actually true. So next door, this side of me, is the hairdresser, Becky B. She's absolutely lovely. The girls in there are all really nice as well. And then on this side of me, there is a massage shop. One of those Asian massage shops that you see all over the place. So it's not what a proper spa, I shouldn't say proper spa, it's not one of the elite spa sort of places. Let me grab a container to put all my rubbish in. When I first moved in, like, I've not really had any problems with them. They're nice, quite nice people and stuff. But when I first moved in, I actually said to hubby, I'm suspicious of them running what we call here in Australia, could be same everywhere, a ghost kitchen. And basically a ghost kitchen is when businesses who are not food-based are cooking food within their premises, so they've not passed all the sort of legal requirements or council requirements to prepare food in their establishments, but they're actually preparing food either during or after hours and then selling it through things like Uber Eats and any of those other sort of delivery companies. And the reason I thought that is because there's constantly food smells coming out of there, and very Chinese sort of food smells. And it's not just cooking your lunch. Like sometimes if I cook my lunch, you do get that sort of, oh yep, you've just cooked your lunch sort of smell. This is like full-on banquet dinner you've cooked, and the smell in the back corridor, because they open up the back door because the shop's got all that smell in, they open up their back door, they prop it open and all the smell wafts into the corridor, and then they open their front door and then all the smell also wafts into my shop. And it is obviously restaurant takeaway cooking smell, not I've just cooked my lunch smell. So I said I was actually suspicious that they were actually running a ghost kitchen, because I don't see a lot of people go in and out of the shop for massages. So I said, but what can I do about it, sort of thing. If that's what they want to do, be it on them if they do get caught doing it. So never really said much. I actually did get questioned by my agent. I received this really random phone call one day, and he said, I just want to double check with you. Have you installed a shower in the back part of your shop, and are you residing? And I said, I beg your pardon. I said, you know as well as I do, there's not room for a shower in the back. Like, you wouldn't be able to get the piping and stuff in there. I said, and if you actually cared to follow any of the businesses that you were leasing out to, you would actually see me constantly posting things from my home where I live with my husband of 15 plus years and my dog. I said, I'm not residing in my shop. And hubby did say to me, I wonder if they've asked you because they're suspicious. Like, they said there had been things said about people residing in shops. And he wondered if they'd asked me, because my native language is English, and if they, by asking me and asking the hairdresser next door, it kind of eliminates us and they know where the problem then is. And it wouldn't surprise me if they were residing in there. They do have showering facilities. They're a massage place. They've got rooms, beds, they've got washing machines, they've got all sorts in there. So it wouldn't surprise me if they were staying in there. And I have had an inkling that they were staying in there, because one day I came in to make my shampoo bars. I came in, it was about 6:15 in the morning. I brought out my air compressor, filled it up, and as that started filling, I heard doors opening and shutting next door. Now, they don't open till 8:30, so I thought I was doing the right thing, coming in early so I didn't disturb anyone, but I obviously did disturb whoever was in the shop. But I've said to hubby that I'm a little bit suspicious about what they actually really do in there, especially of late with some of the things that I have seen. Their sign, it really shouldn't make a difference, but normally when you see these massage parlours up and down the high street, the little signage that they have out the front is usually of a woman having a massage. Theirs are pictures of men having massages, which men can have massages. I take my husband to have massages and he loves them, so there's nothing wrong with that. But generally, the advertising is usually at women because that is the predominant market for massages. But no, all their signage is for men. And it's like, okay. And all I ever really see going in and out are men. 99% of their clientele are men. And it's like, this is really, really weird. And I hadn't really seen any of the stuff. I'd only seen a couple of them, like the owner, she's usually dressed in a suit. But lately I've started to see a few different young ladies in there, and they all wear these little spaghetti sleeved princess lined dresses that barely cover their bottom, and little fluffy, rings around them. It's like, and little fluffy slippers. It's like, I don't think they're offering back massages in there. I really don't. And I've said this to hubby, I said, I don't think this is the sort of massage place that you and I would go into. And he's laughed at me, but I've just gone out and took all my stuff outside. And quite often, for me as a business, you need to present really well, which means that you don't have the behind the scenes stuff just sitting there in the front of your shop. But quite often I've seen them with their clothes horse. Well, usually the clothes horse is just inside the door. So the clothes horse for airing towels and stuff. So they've often had the clothes horse just inside the doorway with all these towels and things on. I've seen them. They've got an A-frame as well, and they hang things on the A-frame out in the street to dry. And it's like, that's not really good presentation. But I've just taken my A-frame out, and as I turn around, they've got their clothes horse in the foyer of their space, which nothing new. Got a couple of towels on, and there's knickers hanging on this clothes horse. It's like, what sort of business are they running next door? It's so funny. But there's nothing I can really do. I mean, there's no proof. Obviously, the agent's not going to do anything. But while they're keeping out of my hair and not making problems for me, I'll let them do whatever they want. But if ever it does become a bit of a problem for me, I'll certainly be raising it with the agent and landlord, because I don't want to be accused of residing in my shop when they quite clearly are. Oh, look, that lid's really damaged. I'll have to go and see if I've got a spare one of those. Because I did have, the landlord actually pays to get pest control done every 3 or 4 months. And he's one of these people that just loves to chat when he comes in. And he came into me, he was in end of last month or beginning of this month. And he said to me, he says, have you ever been in next door? And I said, no, I said, it's not my kind of place. And he said, there's suitcases everywhere in there. And he says, I think the girls are transient people living in there and, doing working holidays. I said, I don't want to know. I'm keeping out of it. If that's what you suspect, you talk to the landlord, but leave me out of it, please. So it's actually quite funny. But yeah, took a double take. And when I took my trolley out, I just had to go and have another look to make sure that I was seeing underwear on this clothes. I tell you, I wouldn't hang my underwear up in the front of my shop unless I wouldn't actually hang my underwear up in the front of an underwear shop, full stop. It would always be the lingerie that I'm selling, but they're not selling lingerie, so there should not be any just drying in the foyer of the shop. Oh dear, funny times. Anyhow, we've got all the Christmas ones done. I'm pretty sure I've actually got a spare lid because I've got one of these jars at home that I was testing. So I'll go and find the spare lid to this, get on with labelling these candles, and I've also got this order that I'm going to Let's grab it here, gonna get packed. It is for Kim. She's got a clean cotton reed diffuser. She's grabbed one of the car air fresheners. She has also got, I love these are so cute. The red earring gnomes. I have a teal pair, which I absolutely love. I made them last year for myself and decided to try selling them this year. She's ordered 3 of our new design shrink wrap openers, and she's also ordered, I have to make it up, the little Brighton clay face mask set. So I'll make that up in a bit once we've got all of these orders packed. But for now, because it is a bit busy out there, I'm going to go and get that door open, get on with working, and see how many customers we can attract into my shop. Let's go. right, it is the end of the day. I've got the door shut, I've packed down the computer. It has been an absolutely awesome week. Oh, I have not had a week like this in a long time. So it's been really good to see. It's really given me a good boost. I did manage to get almost everything done this week that I had written down. The only thing I have not done is the wholesale soap, and that's because that is actually a huge job because I've got quite a few of them to make, but hopefully next week I might be able to find time to make those as well. I've got stock out the back. I'm just trying to build up a bigger stock level so that when people come onto the website, they can actually see live stock levels, which makes it easier for ordering, so that if you're really low on soap as a business, you've just been caught by surprise, like I've been caught by surprise, you can go, right, well, that's definitely in stock, we'll get that ordered and sent through. Whereas if you're not bothered about having things sent through, within that sort of week's time, you can order things that aren't in stock and maybe sitting on the cure rack. So I'm just trying to make sure that I have got a big enough inventory there so that people can get their soaps as quick as possible. But hopefully next week I'll be able to do that. I've got a few things written down here that I need to do over the weekend. I want to start sorting out the Black Friday sale that is happening. That will start on the Friday the 29th. Is it Friday? No, 28th it must be. I don't know now. I'll have to have a look. Let's see. Oh, look, I've got my calendar in my hand. Why am I grabbing for my phone? Gosh, we're getting so bad at this. Friday the 28th will be when the Black Friday sale starts. I'm not having a Black Friday month like so many businesses at the moment. I also need to prepare some stuff for the Pamper Club. My Pamper Club members next month are getting free wax melts in all of their orders. So I need to get all that sorted. I've got a couple of little reels to edit. I've been trialing doing the reels on social media, and they're definitely getting a lot more traction than the still shots that I put up. So I've got a few more of those to go through and edit and get up onto the website. But it has been better than I didn't actually think I was going to get as much done this week as I actually did. So I'm really happy with that. I have also gone through the shelves and written down all the stuff that I need to do next week. Hopefully we can squeeze those wholesale soaps in there. But I've got to top up the diffusers, make some conditioner bars. I've got some perfumes to refill. They've been really popular today, lots of people buying them. Got to make those moisturizers next week, and I've also going to do some lip balms. I've got a new flavor coming out, and when I'm going to make them up early in the week, and then when I do the Black Friday sale, anyone that orders on Black Friday will get one of these new flavored lip balms, and anyone who does wholesale order with me will also get some white label of this new lip balm flavor. But I'll put more about that out during the week. I also need to work on next week filming the new DIY body care recipe that's coming out for December. It's actually part of the Patreon challenge thing, which is why I want to film it. And the recipe is going to be for a magnesium cream. Now I do already have a magnesium lotion recipe available on the DIY body care, but it's a pretty simple sort of recipe, one where as it is by itself, it's a beautiful lotion, but you can also then start tweaking it and making some, real changes to it. But I've just decided that I would add in this next magnesium cream recipe, which is going to be focusing on arnica. It was one of the Patreon design challenges where the suggestion was to use arnica, and I decided to make this magnesium cream for the DIY body care page and Patreon too. So those who are subscribers to the Formulator experience, thank you so much for joining up with that, and apologies that the first time I do this, Australia Post really messed up the orders that went out there. One of them actually took 2 weeks to get to the person, and it was just like, you've got to be kidding. I've just launched this and the postage has gone so terribly wrong, just through no fault of my own. It just it just happened. It was just really weird that it happened to so many parcels too. But hopefully when we send out the December ones, they'll all go nice and smoothly for everyone. And anyone who is part of that subscription in December will be getting a 100 gram tube of the magnesium cream. That's the word, with the arnica in it. So I have to make that next week and also film it. But for now, I am going to head home. I'm going to try and get started on some of the work that I need to do on my days off, so that I can have a little bit of a break on Sunday afternoon. Hubby's finishing work a little bit earlier and we want to take Pepper for a walk in her favourite place. I want to try and get some work done this afternoon, so it's all done for Sunday. And then Monday, as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to go meet up with my parents. So yeah, it's going to be a jam-packed weekend and then another jam-packed week next week. But I hope you've enjoyed, oh, there's a fly in here. I hope you've enjoyed coming along with me this week. If you did, why not leave me a thumbs up and any comments down below. It really does help to get the videos out to more people, and I can try and help and inspire other people along the way as well. But thank you so much for joining me, and until the next video comes out, I hope you have a good one. I'll see you then. Bye.